Tree Country 1330 WTRE. Good morning. It is 8:36, and we've got Miss Bonita Helmick in with us. It's time, Bonita. It is time.
Yes, it is time. We're ready to get going on the fair, and I hope that this hot weather passes and we'll have decent weather for the fair.
Me too. I can do it, just a little less humidity. I could even do some heat, but
yeah,
a little less humidity I wouldn't be sad about.
Actually, I am not minding the heat at all because I'm cold all the time.
That's how I am. So I try not to fuss because I spend all winter freezing. So
yeah, me too.
So you've got open class lined up and ready to go, and
yes, I feel like I am ready to go. Need to get ribbons counted out, and I need to go over into the building and see what kind of cleaning and stuff needs to be done. But I feel like I'm ready.
So when will open class open up to start submitting entries?
Well, first of all, on Monday evening, July 7th, from 5 to 7, I will take entries that absolutely cannot come in on their regular days. It's early entry.
Okay.
So I'll be over at the Farm and Home building that evening taking entries. And then we have entry on Tuesday morning, July 8th, from 9 to 11. And those are for the craft type projects. And then we have judging at 1 o'clock that day for those projects.
Okay.
We'll get those lined up in the cases. And then on Wednesday morning, we have the things coming in like your plants and flowers and garden produce. And those come in from 9 to 11 on Wednesday. And then we judge at 1 o'clock on Wednesday. So.
And then Thursday's it. Thursday's fair kickoff.
Thursday, we have the brownie contest.
Yes, let's talk about that brownie contest.
Yeah.
That's a fun, I love this idea.
Yeah, and everybody loves brownies, and there's so many different kinds, really.
So tell us what you have to do to enter the brownie contest.
Okay, well, you just come in there anytime between 9 and 11 a.m. on Thursday morning, July 10th. Bring your brownies. You don't need to bring the entire pan. You can put 6 brownies on a paper plate. And a lot of times it's nice just to slip that into like a gallon Ziploc bag.
Yeah.
And bring them in. We need your recipe. Put your name on the bottom of the plate or whatever. And we will take photos of the entries. And they really should not need refrigeration. There is a refrigerator in the building, but when you put stuff in there, then things can get forgotten. So most brownies don't need it.
And then next year comes around and it's not good when you forget about it.
No, but we clean that out at the end. But anyway, brownies should be homemade, no mixes. And I probably will have people call and say, okay, can a mix be used as part of the recipe? Well, I would say it's okay if there's a lot of other ingredients, but don't use just a mix with 1 or 2 ingredients and say they're homemade, because basically they're not then.
I will not be entering the brownie contest, just say.
Well, I'm hoping to make some, but I haven't done it yet. You can make brownies and freeze them and have them ready.
That is true, yes.
Yeah, so we have 6 classes. We have your classic chocolate brownies. We have blonde brownies, which can be the brown sugar, caramel kind of things, Double chocolate needs to have 2 or more kinds of chocolate in the recipe.
Okay.
Turtle or caramel brownies.
You can't go wrong there.
No. Peanut butter.
I love that.
And then other brownie flavors. I've seen lemon, strawberry, Oreo brownies, banana brownies, other flavors.
Just have other, okay.
Yeah.
This is exciting. And then you've got some special judges coming in, right?
We have some special judges that are going to judge the brownies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is judging open or closed?
It's open. You can sit and watch it. Yeah.
Okay, that's fun. I always think it's fun just to see.
Yeah, you can just sit there and watch them as they do it. Yeah. And so last year, like, the judges were up on stage, and we brought them up to them, and they had forms that they could fill out for each one so they could keep track. And then they went back at the end and decided which ones they liked best, and we announced the winners, and all was good. Yeah. Last year we did cookies, so this year's brownies, who knows what next year will be. I've had people say they'd love to see all the foods come back, and it's a lot of work. And with just me being the supervisor, and I have volunteers that come in and help with the judging and stuff, but I don't have anybody else.
It's a lot
to help. Yeah. So it would just be hard to do all the foods that we used to do. So that kind of changed after COVID.
All right, so brownies, again, they come in on Thursday morning, 9 to 11?
Yes.
Okay, we're
Yes.
ready for
so
this.
get your brownies ready.
I can do it. I can make a mean box mix, but I'm not sure about the homemade brownies. So, maybe one year we'll have a box mix entry.
You never know. Yeah.
That might be the way to go.
There used to be an entry, mixes entry.
I remember that, like several years ago, right?
Yeah, in open class years ago before COVID, where you would start out with a mix and then you add to it.
Just add ingredients.
Yeah.
So you can use a mix only if you've got several other ingredients.
Yeah,
We're
I think it needs
straying
to
away from that.
It needs to be more like a homemade, but maybe the mix is just one of the ingredients. But you don't want to just use a mix and add one or two things and say, okay, this is it, because that's not really homemade. Then
it's not homemade. Okay, so get those in, and then judging starts at what time that day?
We start judging at 1:00.
Okay.
Yes.
We're in it. In it to win it, right?
In it to win it. That's right.
All
yes.
Right. What are some of our other, I know you've added some projects back in this year. So what are, just kind of give us a rundown, I guess, of what are some things that we can bring in?
Well, yes. Christmas at the fair.
I love this idea.
One of the things is a decorated mini Christmas tree that would be 12 to 24 inches tall. You can put lights on it as long as they're battery operated. Christmas wreaths. We have ornaments, which we've had before. Christmas stockings, Christmas tree skirts, and then any other Christmas items.
Okay. I love Christmas at the fair.
I think
this
that's
is great.
fun.
Yeah.
We had jigsaw puzzles last year, but those have been really popular. People like doing their puzzles, and then we have miscellaneous crafts to include some things that we've gotten in the past but didn't have their own class.
Okay.
String art, paper crafts like homemade cards and things, jewelry creations, and then other crafts. We have had some macrame and things like that. So
if you are a crafter or have a project, you'll find a class to put it in.
We'll find a place for it. Yeah. I mean, I could always create another class if need be too. That's not that big a deal, but we try to get everything included.
Okay.
So so that's a little bit different to have the miscellaneous crafts. And if you've got something you do that's different and you'd like to see a class added for it, you just need to let me know, and we can do
it's
that
flexible.
Or add it for another year. Yeah. So we've brought collections back, and we have collections for a child and a collection for a teen, 13 to 17, and an adult collection, or then 4-H memorabilia.
Okay.
So if you've been a 4-H'er and you collect your 4-H pins, ribbons, whatnot, create a collection and bring it in.
Now, if you are a 4-H'er, can you also enter an open class?
Yes, you can.
Okay. There's no restriction there.
No restriction. You can if you're a 4-H'er and you've got an extra project you did, but it doesn't fit in with your 4-H thing, open it or bring it into open class and enter it there.
All right. Good
So,
deal.
and we have a lot of categories where we've got the children's class so that they can enter those as a child. So diamond art is one we've had for a few years now. That's fairly new, but it's a popular item now. And there are more and more diamond art kits. I've seen kits made for children. And there are things like mini pictures and ornaments and coasters, keychains, things like that you can enter now. So we've got a class for that.
So fun.
Yeah, we've brought genealogy back, so we'll see what happens with that. I think I know of a couple people that are working on genealogy, so that'll be nice.
I love seeing those projects come in because they're just they get so intense with them too and go back so far. So
yeah. Of course, we still have ceramics, woodworking, and antiques has got. We have got 10 classes for antiques this year, and so I hope a lot of people will get their book and enter some of those. A new one is the computer-generated photo scrapbook, as I call it, of memories. I do this with my photos now. Pick out the favorites, and I just create like a scrapbook on a site like I use Snapfish, but you can do it, I think, on Google and
I think several outlets.
There's quite a few different ones, and I think even maybe through some of the places like Costco and maybe even Sam's Club. I haven't checked that one out, but they have these things where you can store your photos and you can make these photo books with them and order them. And I do that now just to put my favorite photos together, and it's a smaller book. It's not as weighty as a big photo album to put on your shelf and everything. So that should be a fun one to see if we get some things from that.
Yeah.
We brought scrapbooks back. A lot of people still enjoy scrapbooking. And then we have our usual, like the knitting, crocheting, needlework, quilts, other quilted items, and sewing. And then photography, I have got 17 classes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's more than last year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I think in the past we've had 12 or 13.
Okay.
So, a good idea, if you're not sure of the classes, give me a call or come in and get an open class book so you can see which ones are black and white, color. We've got things like a farm scene, a coastal or a beach scene, which would be different than the sunsets or sunrises.
Yes.
So, creative photography is a new one. We've got somebody who enters every year, and she does creative photos. And it's really hard to judge those against just your normal photos.
Sure.
So we've added that. And I hope we get more than just her entering, but I know that she's going to enter some things in that. But we've got a lot of people, especially ones that have been through 4-H photography, that can do some creative photos.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I think too, it makes it's not apples to apples when you look at the wide array of photography that comes in. So by separating out classes a little bit more, that helps.
Right. And in the past, we've had over 100 photography entries, and we've had down to 40 some. Last year, we had 80 some. I do remember that. And so I'm hoping this year we get quite a few. I'm set with judges for that. So we should have plenty of judges to get the judging done in decent time.
All right.
So, and then when we go on to Wednesday with our flowers, garden, and foods, we have our flower arrangements. And I've got 8 classes there. And horticultural specimens are like the single flower in a vase. And we've got 8 classes there. So we've got a few new ones that we've added in. We're doing fairy garden again for adults, teens, and children.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And those are so much fun to do. And then potted plants, I have 9 classes this year.
Oh, wow.
So we've added a few things there. But people do a lot of really pretty potted plants for their porches and stuff. Bring it in and enter it. Yeah.
This is your chance to shine.
So, yeah.
It really is. Yeah.
Show off what you're doing and how good your plants look right now. Garden produce, I've got 13 classes. The class 13 is the market basket collection.
Okay.
Where you put 5 to 7 varieties in the basket. But I've added some other varieties that they do at State Farm or at the state fair, but that we have not done here. So I've added things in like sweet corn. What's another new one? Carrots and broccoli. Those are new. So yeah.
I love that.
So we hopefully can have some different things there. And I don't know how people's gardens are doing.
I was going to say, I'm going to be curious how garden turnout is just because our spring has been a little wet.
Yeah, and that's always the thing with garden. You just don't know. It just depends when you get things planted. If you got your potatoes out early, you might have some potatoes to dig. You can enter tomatoes while they're green because tomatoes are not always ripe in early July. That's kind of rare. But you can put green tomatoes on a plate, and they'll be judged for how nice they look and how they're growing and everything. So, yeah. And food preservation also comes in on Wednesday. And we've got our jams, preserves, marmalades, fruit butters, and then also canned products. We have 6 classes. So I know last year we had quite a few canned products. So that was really good.
And I think people have had a good strawberry years, good raspberry years. So I hopefully we'll see lots of jams and preserves come in.
Yeah, I hope so. So that takes us through those classes. But again, I've got books at the office. If you have not gotten a book, come to the extension office and pick one up. You can enter your projects early. There's a sheet in the back of the book, or you can pick up a paper at the office to write your entries on and bring it into me early. I've got several already entered in the computer. Good. Yeah. And so I know those people are planning to bring those items. They're entered in. All they need to do is bring them in that morning, and I'll go in there and check them off that they're there. And
it makes things a little bit easier for you guys if you can pre-register.
Yeah, because I try to get everything typed in as they bring their projects in. And it's not too bad to do it that morning that way, but sometimes you get 5 or 6 people coming in at the same time, or you can be sitting there waiting on people. So it just helps out a little bit to get it in there and have it ready.
Right. right.
So, and I'm happy to say all my volunteers from last year are volunteering again to come back and
Nice.
work their tables and put the projects in order for the judges when they arrive. And so I'm real happy about that.
And the open class building will be open the first day of the fair. So
Yes.
most everything is in at that point.
Yes.
Except for brownies, right?
we'll be doing brownies that day, but the other things we should have displayed for you to come in and look at.
Get to see
so-
your ribbon.
Yeah.
That's the
see if you
favorite
got a
part.
ribbon.
That's
Yes.
right. Again, books are at the extension office. Is there on the Facebook page? Can they also see some of the open class stuff or no?
Christopher has put some things
On
from the
there.
book on the Facebook page, yes. And I really probably should go back in and look at that because I haven't been on there for a while. I'm just kind of like, don't look at Facebook real often,
Yeah.
or I glance through it real quick and I just don't look things up. But that said, I did want to mention too that we got fair books in yesterday, so we have some of
Ew.
those.
They're pretty bright green this year.
There's a limited amount, but we do have fair books in with the schedule for all the 4-H judging, the open class, the track. That's all in there. So come and get you a fair book if you need one to keep track of what's going on.
There's so much on a daily basis. So if you're like us, those are like the Bible that we carry that week. So.
That's me. Every day I'm sitting there looking at it, or people calling the phone, and I'm looking, okay, this is at this time, and this is at that time, and then we try to thank the people who are working on the fair with the committee and the council and the volunteers and things, and the 10-year 4-H members are listed. So
There's a lot that goes into the fair, and I think for people that come and visit, which we love having spectators there, sometimes you lose sight of all that goes into getting that fair ready to go.
yeah, it's planning the biggest party of the year per se, just like the Tree City Fall Festival and things. It's just a big thing to plan and to get everything ready for, and everybody who's doing certain things knows what they're doing, and we get going on it almost immediately after this
It is.
fair. We'll be
It's-
starting on what we're doing for next year.
It's a wrap up one and get started on the next.
That's right. You've got to have everything ready and squared away, and so it's like, okay, let's get started and see what next year's going to bring.
Hoping for higher numbers of open class. COVID kind of took it down a little bit.
It definitely did, and then we had dropped a lot of projects with our extension homemakers aging out and not many people in the homemakers anymore. So then they decided not to sponsor it anymore. So now it's me and the volunteers who help me. So I'm trying to bring some things back and make it a little bit bigger and better, because it really is a big part of the fair. Always has been. And I think that's why a lot of people miss the extra different foods that used to be entered, because that was always a big competition.
I think so. And I think for those of us that grew up in 4-H and doing this, it's something that I like. Open class is just the next step that you always do. And,
Yeah.
I know lives get busy, but I think it's fun. It's good to show also the youth of our county you can keep being an active member and doing different things.
They do, and people love to come in and look at the different projects that people have made. Quilts are always the big thing, and
I love to see because they're hung up in the cases
building.
there, and it's just a great view to walk in and see. And it's so much hard work in one area.
Yeah.
Across the board, open class wise, not just the quilts, but to walk in and see all the work that everyone has put in.
a lot of these projects just take a really long time to do, and so kudos to the people who have time to work on them. But it's good to have a hobby or a project that you work on some. It's good for your mind.
It
and
is.
No matter what your age, if you can work on something, it's nice.
That's right.
So bring it in and let other people see it, show it off, and win a ribbon.
All right, so open class early check-in starts Monday evening. If you absolutely can't make the other ones, get your books down at the extension office.
Yes,
Pre-register if you can.
that's right. I also did want to mention, too, we've got the forms for the baby show out, and I think Christopher has put some on the Facebook page.
Okay.
So get your forms in for the baby show. It's $5 to enter until 4 p.m. on July 3rd.
Okay.
After that, it'll be at $10.
And
It's
it
the late
is
fee.
on Saturday of the fair?
Yes, it is. It's on Saturday, the 12th this year.
All right, and it starts at 8 or 9?
8:45.
8:45, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Get it in and out before the heat hits, we're hoping.
Yeah, hopefully it won't be too hot that day. We have a couple big fans in the building that were donated to us by, now I'm losing my train of thought out there. But Jay Schofield always helps with
Rural
the
King.
Rural King,
Yes.
yes. But Jay always helps with the baby show, and he is my MC for the program and does a fantastic job. And so they've donated a couple big fans, and then whatever other little fans we need to bring in, we try and do that, keep everybody cooled off.
It'll be there in the Farm and Home building.
Yes, yes. We use the stage for that now, so.
All right, and they register at the extension office for the baby show.
Yes, they do.
All right. Well, Bonita, thanks so much. A lot of hard work you've put into getting ready for this year.
It's almost time.
It's almost go time. That's right. We both have our binders. We're ready to go, right?
That's right.
That's right. All right. Any other thoughts you want to get out there before we wrap it up?
No, just get your babies registered, get your projects done, and pre-register them if you can. If you can't, that's okay. But get your projects finished and ready. Get you an open class book and go through and say, okay, what can I enter? What would be fun to show off here?
And a lot of times things you probably already have done in your home will fit into a class. So.
Yeah. I know I had some succulents that I divided this spring, and I keep looking at this one and thinking, wow, that one looks so good. I need to enter that. I need to remember to bring that in. Things like that you've done, or a puzzle you maybe finish and then set aside. Look at it and think, oh, can I enter that in the fair?
Right. Can I do this? Yeah. If they have questions, what number can they call?
Call the extension office at 812-663-8388.
All right, very good. And you can call that number for open class, 4-H, baby.
Yes.
If you've got a fair question, call. They'll figure out the answer or guide you to the correct place.
We're full of information. So if we need to get you to call somebody else, we will, but we answer lots of questions every day. So...
All right, Bonita, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing all the hard work that's been put into this, and we're not down to single digits yet, but we're getting really close.
Yeah, we're getting close, but thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. It's 8:57 on Tree Country 1330.